Hey, everybody, and welcome to an extra special episode of Outside of the Box. It's extra special because
Oh,
I've been talking to teams that everybody knows and have been beloved over the past couple of years. But this is a team that I feel is going to be beloved very soon.
thank you.
Team Boltergeist, welcome to the
Hey,
show.
Hi,
hi. Yeah, should we
I'm
introduce ourselves?
Natasha, in case nobody knows.
Yeah, yeah. I'm Aiden, team captain, builder, designer, and yeah,
Co-captain, thank you very much.
co-captain. And yeah, this is Natasha, co-captain, designer, weapon operator.
Patient wife.
Yeah, and Boo, who is insisting on
She's
being
the
part
she's
of
the
the
ro- she's the controller. We have a little dog-sized remote control for her.
Oh my
She
goodness,
controls
that
the flamethrowers.
is so cute, so cute.
Yeah, she's great. She's
Um,
just scratching the sofa, trying to make her presence known.
Hey.
So yeah, so we'll try and get her to participate nicely.
Boom! Remember, no swearing.
Yes.
yeah, I'm so excited to talk to both of you. As soon as I saw the name, I'm just like, that is fantastic. It's hard to come up with, super creative, fun names in BattleBots, I think. I haven't seen too many over the years that aren't like an obvious name for the robot, and like it's just so cool. So yeah, let's kind of talk about to kind of go back how you first got into combat robotics. I'd love to hear about that.
I just have to say first, the original name for Boltergeist was Grounds for Divorce/Divorce Papers. We really wanted to call it Divorce Papers.
The Grounds for Divorce was the one. It's the name of the song. So yeah, it goes way back, because the last robot I built was in kind of like 2003, like 2002, when I was a kid growing up. So when I was learning all about this, and I was super into Robot Wars and early BattleBots as a kid, because my family always do like super into all the hobbies that we're into. We went to a bunch of events.
I have bad news for you.
What?
I think you might be sitting on her stick.
That's what she wants.
No, it's not under you. Sorry.
Sorry, Boo wants something.
She keeps on scratching
what's sitting on it?
at his butt because he sat on her precious chicken stick.
There we go.
Apologies.
Apologies for that. She won't be a problem for the rest of the interview now. She's got her stick. She's good. So yeah, my mum used to take me to different combat robotics events, which is mostly just like the qualifiers before the series, and you get to meet the teams in the pits and everything. And somehow she managed to get Rex Garrett's phone number. We never even actually met him in person, but she just managed to get his phone number. And he'd call me in the evenings, and we just sit on the phone and talk robots. And I'd asking how to build a robot, what's a speed controller, or if he was doing something, he'd tell me about that. So I remember he was fiberglassing, and he was explaining a process to me, and I was just absolutely mesmerized. So everything I learned about building a robot, I learned from those phone conversations. And then there's this thing he did in the magazine where he would he did this little series how to build a robot. So I built a few things as a kid, but never really did much with it. It was just playing around with other kids who did combat robotics in my village. And then I found music when I was 12 or 13, and girls liked me when I played music. So all of a sudden, robotics was kind of pushed to the wayside.
You realized you could get way more poontang with a guitar than a robot.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think I got this one? So years later, I had a
just kidding.
So years later, moved to London, had a music career and everything. It was 2019, I believe, and I got a phone call from my mum.
It's when Rex died, isn't it?
Yeah, when Rex passed away, Tasha came home, and I was on the phone to my mum, who was telling me that Rex had passed away, and she'd come home, and I had to explain to her who he was and why he was so important.
Well, I think you'd explained a little bit, but around that time, I think we were watching the new series of BattleBots, and so we kind of started off with watching Japanese bug fights, and then it
that
progressed
was
to
it.
like battle bots.
Yeah,
and I remembered it
yeah.
from like, oh god, like the early 2000s when it was on like, what was it, Comedy Central?
Yes.
With like the old logo, and I just remember thinking like, that show's pretty lame, like nerds. But then I started watching the new series, and I was like, oh no, fuck, this is
it was always
incredible.
cool though. Come on.
No,
man.
well, yeah, as a kid, like like a 12-year-old girl, our priorities are different,
I guess.
And then watching the new series, I was like, oh my god, no, this is incredible. Like this is like Japanese bug fights, but with like a rake, and like drones and like awesome stuff. And then I stupidly tried to comfort him when Rex died, and was like, no, don't worry, you know what, we're gonna make a robot, we're gonna honor Rex, and we're gonna make him proud, and we're gonna make a robot. And I regret everything that I said in that moment, because now we have a lot less money and time,
and the whole spare room that's converted into a workshop,
and so much junk.
But
it's
great.
Ended up being amazing and super fun, and just we would have never expected the response that we've got from people.
It's been incredible. So it's been a roller coaster after that, because we when we got together to form a team, we're like, okay, who do we know who have got skills that are kind of related to this? And our friend Dan, it's a weird calling him Oscar. He went by Dan.
Yeah, we knew him as Dan, but his name was Oscar, and he was like a really good friend of ours. Yeah, who was an electrical engineer.
So we've got to get him involved.
So we did, and we made our first was it, our first application video. That was so bad. And then sadly he passed away the summer of 2020, and I think from that we were supposed to be in the series or something, because Greg was
what happened was we were planning to enter series 6, because we'll get everything together over the next year, and then we'll put in a proper effort for season 6. So when Oscar passed away, I emailed Greg and said, look, his favorite robot was Peerless Juge, Violent Dragon from King of Bots. I said that, it would be great to put like a sticker of him or something for him on the back of a robot. But we don't know if there's going to be any conflicts of interest with King of Bots, or any copyright issues or anything like that. So we just want to clear it with you and like the original team for us to be able to do that. And Greg just said, can you make it this series in like a couple of months, and if not, then don't worry, we'll try again next year. So okay, we'll give it a go. We ended up not being able to make it because travel restrictions, and there's a metal order that got messed up by a decimal point, and it was a total nightmare. But we were so new to the community, but this isn't the only thing that happened. Loads of stuff happened to us in that time period, but people just supported us so much.
Yeah, they responded really, amazingly. And I don't know, I guess I never would have expected the kindness from the whole community. But then
we didn't even know who we were.
Yeah, and at the time it was really sweet. Like his grandfather, we kind of knew was on his way out, as you can tell.
Well, yeah.
And it was really sweet because his grandfather, I think it was for his birthday, really, he was so excited that he was building a robot. And he was like,
it was when we were in the period we were building it, supposed to go off season 5.
Time doesn't matter, but anyway. His oh god, I swallowed some spit there for a second. His grandfather was so excited that he was building something, and he was like, I really want to be a part of this, if there's anything that I can help out. So he got us the motors for it. And then really shortly after passed away. And I mean, this isn't sad, it's a sad story, but it is what it is. But we found out that in his last days he was watching old Robot Wars
my brother was
videos.
at his house, and he had all the tapes of Robot Wars stacked next to his TV that he was going through,
because he was so stoked to to help us build it, because he used to do what was it,
he was an architect,
so he was really good with plans and kind of he loved building things.
He helped me out learning to do CAD as well. And so throughout all this awful stuff happened to us, but the community was so supportive.
And it's ended up just yeah, just through all that, I don't want to say sadness because like it's in the past now, but yeah, just like everybody's been so amazing and we've learned from it. And even though we didn't make that season, I think it was a blessing because we had time to, you know, work on it and make it better. And just,
yeah,
I don't even know what the fucking original question was, but that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. We go off on
cool.
tangents sometimes.
This one time in 1982.
Yeah. Because the Kaiser took our 20.
The Kaiser took our.
So yeah, crazy journey. Community's amazing. Met loads of amazing people. And
so when people find out, yeah, that like he started when he was a kid and not like, you know, in his 20s, they're just like, what the heck?
Yeah, because I got asked when we first started like fielding Boltergeist to like some of the Facebook groups. Like, okay, you built a robot before? I said, yeah, when I was a kid. I'm like, right, great. Do you have any like YouTube videos of it? The last time I built a robot was at least 5 years before YouTube.
Time for an embarrassing photo.
Oh,
this is 80 and his younger brother.
Josh is on the team as well. So this is me and
who is this again?
That's Dominator 2 dying.
This is him as a kid. He's like, I'm meeting a robot, and that's how it all started. And this is in my like, if I show this to anybody photos folder, I will get murdered in my sleep. But it's just such a cute photo, and like he still gets so excited about all this robot stuff, like he was when he was a kid, and I just can't help but just hate you more and more every day.
Love you too, darling.
Love you.
That's so great. I mean, like I think that's a big part of, you know, BattleBots in the community is inspiring, you know, younger kids that, you know, might be interested in this to get into it. So I mean, I think that's great.
Yes, huge.
I think that's a lot. Yeah, like where our design came from was because I used to work in marketing, and you know, my thought process was like, if we're going to design this, I want this to be something that a kid can have a toy of, and like a kid can look at it and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, I want to be a part of this. Yeah, because it's amazing to see. It's kind of like Pokemon, where there's people from all ages, all walks of life, and when you have a hobby or a community like that, like it's really lovely because it doesn't matter who you are, you bond over this one thing. Yeah,
like it's becoming a lot more like the early days as well, like where it's becoming very obvious you don't spend so much money on your robot for it to be competitive as well. So
I think that makes it fun though. I like the fact that
I mean it's a really good thing. Like it's really, you know, becoming again this sport that anybody can do.
Yeah, and I think
I want kids to see us and think, right, I can do this too. Or like, you know, for like little girls to see, you know, Natasha and think, you know, I can do this. Or for like disabled kids to see me and think, you know, great, I can do this as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the kids are a huge part of it. Like even with Pokemon, I do so much stuff with kids. I've told you like about it in the chat or anything earlier, but
yeah, he loves to help kids out at like the local game shop.
Because I had really excited. Like I had so much support as a kid getting into combat robotics all those years ago. It means a lot for me to be that person now. To
pass the torch. And
because I met Ian Lewis from the Razor and Warhead teams at a tournament back in February. And we're talking about like how we met each other when I was like 9, and like he was so stoked to see like a kid that, you know, he'd met, you know, actually go on to build robots. And I said, right now it's my turn, you know, to be that guy, you know, to another kid and to meet them like 20 years down the line.
Yeah.
So yeah. With my genetics, we're never having our own kids. So this is the closest I'm gonna get to like
a child.
Closest I'm gonna get to like inspiring the next generation.
So, I was gonna say more babies need battle axes.
So what all you know, I know you talked a little bit about that, but when you were coming up with the either, you know, original design or improvement for Boltergeist, what were all of the things that you were considering and important things that you wanted to put into the robot, you know, to get to the final product that you have now?
I think, didn't I like originally draw it on a napkin?
You did.
I wanted it to be like a double-ended thing, because I noticed a lot of robots like get kind of butt fucked And so I wanted to
Don't
like
swear, Hayden.
no, it's Boo. Boo's the one with the potty mouth.
Oh, it was Boo, yeah.
And so I wanted something that would like, you know, be able to attack on both sides. So I think it was like a horizontal spinner, and then it was a
wedge on the other end.
A wedge or something on the
And
other
then
end.
we thought a hammer would be a
flip.
better way of doing that.
And then we thought a hammer, and I mean, my entire wardrobe is black, and I was like, it has to be black. It has to be like super sleek and super like modern looking,
geometric.
And then I thought about getting black 3.0, which is like Vanta black. So it's like the blackest black in all of existence, to the point where it absorbs all color.
It's been 2 seasons now. My selection committee's answer on whether we're allowed to use it is still, we don't know.
Because it would just be like a black hole.
It would literally look like if you, in a Pokemon game, you attack Shadow Sneak, like it would look like the robot is like just a shadow going along the floor, and then this hammer comes out of it.
Yeah.
Which
would be amazing.
That's got the chevrons on it, and the eyes that light up. So we know from how those things are oriented which way the robot's facing. It's kind of a bit like dazzle camouflage in a way as well.
But then we wanted it to kind of be cute as well.
Yeah, that's literally what I was going to say now.
We have 2 gerbils. We have identical twin gerbils, called Spoopy and Boopy.
Yeah.
And they're the sweetest things. And so we kind of wanted to make a, I guess, mechanical rodent robot. Yeah. So very, I guess if you look at it, you can kind of see it. But that was, I guess, how we wanted to do it.
Because Natasha's favorite robots as well, when we're coming up with like, okay, what do we want in a robot?
Has to have a face.
Like duck, huge, you know, it's got to have a face, it's got to have a personality. Yeah. And then
maybe it's the ADHD in me that like I personify everything in my head.
I wouldn't say it's that. So you've just got like you've got a really good eye for things. You've got synesthesia, so you're really good at kind of, you know, putting all your senses together. You've got a really good sense.
Which is, I think, I got the color scheme is because Boltergeist in my head is like teal and black.
Yeah,
so
kind of like neon
letters and numbers are colors in my head, but then those letters and numbers can combine to another color. So like words have a specific color, and I think in my head that was just the color theme, and I was like, let's just do it, let's go for it. I know it sounds insane, but there's many different kinds. Like you can smell sounds or taste music, or it's basically like a mix of your senses. So I've always had
there's so many different things that went into Boltergeist as well. Like we're an industrial band, and we wanted to have something that would sound good on one of our records. So it's got a percussive weapon. Our image with the band, it's a lot of black geometric things. Like it's got to be almost entirely out of triangles. So it's all triangles, and also, I guess Pokemon came into a lot as well, because Josh and I come from a competitive Pokemon world. And Tasha plays Pokemon as well. She's more into Pokemon Go. Yeah. But it has to be like a Pokemon, and all the best robots are like that. Like Kraken is a lot like a Pokemon, and Huge could be a Pokemon. Even Rusty could be a Pokemon.
And we're Digimon, I think.
Yeah, and it's about, what was a phrase I use? It's about not just being a competitor, it's about being a character that people can latch onto. Because I find that the teams that people really like are the ones where, whether it's a robot or the team or a combination of both, where there's a real personality that people can latch onto and almost like project themselves onto.
Kind of like how dogs look like their owners. I think the robot.
Yeah, there's a segment on that in an episode.
What?
That robots tend to look like their owners. And we didn't notice until after that the shape of Boltergeist's wedge is exactly like my chin. I had no idea until someone sent me a message saying, hey, Boltergeist's chin, the wedge kind of looks like yours.
I always joke that 80 got hit in the face with a stop sign as a child, and that's why his chin is the way it is.
Yeah, my head's hexagonal.
If we ever had children, it would be the Crimson Chin.
That's my nickname in secondary school.
We would call it Jay Leno.
Jay Leno has a robot, So the name Chin Killer was taken as well.
Chin Killer.
Yeah. So we couldn't do that. But yeah, Boltergeist is this amalgamation of so many different things that somehow came together to make this cohesive machine character thing, and this cohesive team image that we have now. And I mean, we've worked
We've
for ages.
got telekinesis,
but-
like fucking twin telekinesis at this point. Like we don't even have to
yeah,
like talk about things. We just like have ideas.
yeah.
And boom. it
Like we've been
happens.
together for like 10 years, and it's crazy. Like we finished not even each other's like sentences, each other's ideas, each other's thoughts. So it's a very harmonious process. Like there's no real disagreement. It just all falls into place. It's like how we choose Pokemon, the starter Pokemon each generation. There's never an argument. It's like you, me, and Josh. Like we all pick our own starters. There's never an argument over who's going to pick what.
That is true. That is very true.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably going to be how teams are going to have to operate going forward. Like now that there's like a hive mind team, like everyone else is going to have to like really up their game. But yeah, what else? There's so much in there. Like the eyes is another thing. We wanted to give it a lot of personality.
LED screen eyes at first, but then we decided to have like
we still do the LEDs.
No, as in like like the
strips.
Strips as opposed to like the ones where like it moves, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's kind of interesting the way those work.
So like depending on if it gets hit or if it's like
you're trying
dying,
to get this
or
sorted.
The eyes can turn like red instead of green, to show that like it's in pain.
It's blue.
It's teal to me. Teal is a mix of.
They made it blue this season. For
how men are with colors. Like you'll show them like periwinkle, and they're like, "Oh, it's blue."
Oh, that's the thing. But in season,
like
season
how
6,
it is. Like men just don't see like the finer colors.
No, but for season 6, this is why the color looked a bit muted and weird last year. Is because it looks totally different on my old computer's monitor than it does on any other monitor. So the color it is now is how it was supposed to look. It's how it looked on my monitor.
But yeah, so emotions. We wanted it to have emotions, so you could tell. Just kind of like Huge when Huge's eyes kind of go wonky.
Yeah.
Which I love. Like I love Huge's expression so much.
Yeah, that was important. Like really important to get in for us is a sense of emotion, like with Huge. Yeah. But the way we do it is
we want people to feel bad when they hurt us.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me though. That reminds me of an episode of BattleBots from like a few seasons ago. I'm sure that you've heard of it, but there was a bot called Nelly the Ellie bot.
Oh, yes, we know them.
We know them. We're very good friends with them.
And I still I remember very clearly that the first episode, the poor robot got torn up, and it had a smiley face the first time, and then the second fight it had like a mad face, and I'm just like, that's terrific.
Like because Sarah is on well, she helped me out last tournament with my Beetleweight spoopy, so we kind of did like a dual captain thing for a tournament, and like that went really well. So we thought of doing like a tag team thing at some point, so it could be a goth Nelly with Boltergeist as like a tag team thing. But she's got one of the heads she's got for if she's going to be in next season is like a Terminator Nelly head. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but she's got like a one half of it, so if it gets wrecked in one match it can come back with like a Terminator eye. It's awesome. Like Sarah, and then there we go. It says
how dare you say I'm unstable, computer? That's rude. I see a therapist, thank you.
But yeah, the Nelly team are great. Like in fact, there's parts of Nelly in Boltergeist. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before, but it's kind of like a zombie robot. It's like a zombie hammer bot because it's got the old like contactor and weapon controller from Nelly. It's got one of the speed controllers was in Ragnarok, so it's ending up being like a zombie amalgamation of these like dead parts of other hammer bots.
Out of there! Hold on a second. Boo! Don't even think about it.
So the dog was trying to go into the workshop.
Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Come on, up.
Up. I guess we're kind of unique as a team in that this is technically an apartment build, but we literally have a workshop in the next room. That at the start of the pandemic, we're like, oh God, we can't go to the maker spaces now. Our maker spaces are closed. What do we do? So we just asked our landlord, can we turn our spare room into a workshop, and the yard outside, can that be for like outside stuff like hot work? And he's like, yeah, of course, you pay the rent, it's fine, as long as you make it as it was before when you move out.
Buy security deposit. It was nice knowing you.
I think his reason is like, we're makers, like we'll fix it up in the end.
Set the house on fire. Got it. Okay.
But yeah, so just want to make sure the dog didn't go in there, because
she has no sense of danger.
Yeah.
And when your dog is like the dog version of Karen Carpenter, like there's not much protecting her.
She's great, though.
She is great though.
Yeah.
She's a lovely dog.
I'm curious, like, obviously you've been following BattleBots and, got really close to being on last season. Are there any specific robots that like you want to fight, if you get a chance that you want to go up against?
We've got a hit list.
I really wanted Duck, but Duck's not coming back.
Yeah, and then you said, "Oh, I want to do Smee. Is Smee coming back?" Like, no, Smee's not coming back.
Smee would have been amazing.
So, I
think just for the sake of like finding a new husband, Hypershock. Hypershock.
I was gonna say, before she was going to run off with Will Bales, this town's only big enough for one spooky power couple team. I think we can take Witch Doctor. We've got a weapon that we're working on called the Mage Masher, cool. Which is supposed to work. It's kind of taking a couple of cues from Shatter's kind of like sword thing, where it'll still have like a normal hammerhead on it, but it's going to be catch points where it's supposed to be able to like grab onto
grab and rip.
Yeah, kind of like a grab and rip kind of thing, or like to drag them into things and make sure they can't hit us with the with their discs.
I really wanted to have thinking if like you've seen that Breaking Bad episode with the electric magnets. I really wanted to get electric magnets in it. Is it? Are we not allowed to do that?
No.
Because it would have been amazing to like switch the magnets on and then have it get stuck and then just rip it to shreds.
But the thing is, what's the fun of having something invisible that damages things? You've got to make the damage like visible. Like it's got to be something that the audience can kind of just like grok by seeing it.
Us get damaged or the other robot get damaged?
Ideally, the other robot.
That's what I was thinking.
So yeah, other things as well. We've been very vocal in application about wanting to put the whole beta versus rotator argument to rest. So we want to fight a really difficult horizontal spinner because we've got a setup that that we reckon could work against top mounted horizontal. So someone like Bloodsport or Rotator, or I mean maybe someone like Gigabyte would be good, or Captain Shredderator. But yeah, I mean, just going up against the OG and just going against Rotator and just
Gigabyte's funny because it's just like it's like a little flying saucer.
I love it.
Like a stick coming out of it.
Yeah, you love the sticks on the
stick. It's just bodies. It looks so janky, but it is not. It's like gonna kick everybody's butt.
It's been kind of janky these past few seasons.
That's what I love about it. I love like when they look like just like giant. I'm not saying this in an insulting way. I say this in like a loving way. Like the more janky it looks, but like the more it can kick your ass. It's unsuspecting, Like you want to throw people off. You want to make people think like, oh no, that's just a pile.
I mean,
of crap.
Gigabyte's very tanky, but yeah, it does have this little stick coming out the top.
It's funny. It makes me laugh.
It's cute. I love it.
But that's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Make your robot look as crap as possible.
That's not very nice to say to Gigabyte.
No, not about Gigabyte now. This is completely different. This is a completely different idea. Gigabyte, I love you. Call me. No, I just mean like make your robot look as crap as possible.
As janky as possible.
Janky as possible. And then just like have it kick your butt. Like, because people will be like, oh, it's probably not going to do anything. So like, we'll go easy on it. And then like when people feel sorry for you, boom.
Like Rusty versus Kraken.
Yes. Like I love Rusty. Rusty is a G.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to fight Rusty though. Like I feel really bad, scratching up Rusty.
Love Rusty.
Yeah, who else? We've got a whole list of teams that we want to fight. Shatter is one all our fans want us to fight.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like sleek geometric, big time hammers.
Yeah.
Because Shatter was the only
And it
hammer
would just be
last
like
year.
bonk, bonk, bonk.
Yeah.
bonk,
So
bonk,
and
bonk.
now that Blacksmith has decided to be a vertical spinner now, they're not in the running for big time hammer of BattleBots anymore. Yeah, it's just between us and Shatter.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be a really good match. I'd like that. Who else? God, there's so many teams. Huge, because I don't know what would happen. Because we what's going to happen if we hit them with a hammer? They're just going to go like boom and like go back up again. Like, we don't know. I'd love to find out.
I don't think I could do huge. I would cry. I would feel too sad.
Definitely gonna do
I have
huge.
a lot of love for huge. I couldn't do it.
Who else? There's just so many teams. You just like, whenever I'm watching a match, I'm thinking, okay, if we were in this situation, what would we do? And out of that, comes so many game plans. So every time I see a team enough times, I'm like, right, I really want to fight them so I can try X, Y, and Z.
What do you think about, because they've been like the one of the dominant robots over the past couple of years? What do you think about Endgame?
Oh yeah, I mean, I would personally love that. They've got some very nice, tasty belts up there. I would just love to try it on. But yeah, I'm up for Endgame.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool.
Whatever happens, it's going to be entertaining. We're either going to do something really cool and interesting, or we're going to get completely ganked, or just our wedgelets will end up just kind of,
Is that their newest one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
painful. It is very painful.
Also, it has a little tail.
It does.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm Grandpa Simpson. I fall asleep in front of the TV.
Yeah, she forgets it all the time.
I forget like a lot of stuff.
So yeah, we watch it together, but she forgets everything that happens. Like, I'm pretty sure if I asked you who was like the champion this season, like,
oh fuck.
See, like,
Tantrum?
Yes.
Yeah, Tantrum.
I got it.
Yeah.
Tantrum.
You do remember. I love you.
I did it.
Yeah, Tantrum would be interesting too, because they've got all their gubbins up on top. What happens if we like stick our hammer right in those rails? Be nice. Yeah, I guess there's also been quite a lack of hammerbots these past few seasons. So
don't things kind of go in like a pattern, like loads of spinners, and then people get sick of spinners and then do like bonky ones, and then they're like, not too many of these, go back to
it's
something
kind of
else.
interesting. This past season, I'd noticed it in the top cut. There are fewer vertical spinners than that happened before. Like in the top cut, it was Hydra, Tantrum, Witch Doctor, and it was Sawblaze, wasn't it? Out of all of those, that's essentially, if you don't count Sawblaze, that's only like, or Tantrum, that's pretty much only one conventional vertical spinner, and they didn't have wedgelets. So we had an entire top cut with no 4-wheel drive vertical spinner with wedgelets. So maybe the metagame is shifting now, and I think Shatter last season in particular showed that a hammerbot really can take it far, and I think we'd like to try and build on that. And yeah, it's just kind of hammerbots a bit of an unknown quantity at the moment. There's just so much that can happen. If we're just chucked in the ring with these kinds of robots that are becoming dominant now, because the game is shifting. I feel that's one of the reasons why we're so confident about the hammer, because I was talking to Greg about this the other day, and he said that he kind of loves the ideological purity of us sticking with a hammer, because early on,
I'm still bitter about the battle axe, dude.
We'll still do the battle axe. We'll still do that. We'll still do that. Don't worry, we're still gonna do that. But
it's a great pun.
Yeah, because early on in the application process, I said, okay, I know that last year the selection committee had some concerns about the destructive capabilities of the hammer. So whilst I am 100% confident in the destructive capabilities of our hammer, and we took steps to make it even more powerful this year, I said I will work on vertical spinner and hammer saw versions of Boltergeist, and we'll see if selection committee doesn't feel like letting him a hammer version, but we'll try these other versions. And that's where Spoopy kind of came from, because I'd never tried a vertical spinner before. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try it in a smaller format and see what works. But as I was kind of in the design process for those things, I just got more attached to the idea of the hammer and just making the hammer really good. So in the end, I just said to him, you know, we're going to stick with a hammer this season. Like, this is our application. And yeah, he said he loves the ideological purity of it. I said, but honestly, you know, hand on heart, we would not be applying with this version of Boltergeist if we didn't have 100% confidence in the knockout power of this hammer. We just wouldn't do it. We'd try something else. So yeah, I feel like we have a place in the meta, and I want to, I'll take on Endgame for that.
We're going to kick ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited. I mean, I can say right now, if anybody that makes the decisions is watching, like, this robot needs to be on the show. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, and actually, I was going to mention too, because you mentioned Witch Doctor. I mean, for me personally, I think that your team is spooky in a different way than they are. Like, voodoo spooky isn't the same thing as like spooky.
We're like classy goth got married on Halloween spooky.
It's like, they're like
Party City, like spooky skeleton.
They're kind
decoration.
of like I'd say kind of like New Orleans, kind of like Baron Samedi kind of.
They just remind me of like Party City Halloween decorations.
But that's that's a cool vibe, and they do it. But we're kind of more like,
we're like elegant, like fashion spooky,
like Sisters of Mercy. If Andrew Eldridge didn't get sad and old and bald.
This is true.
Yeah.
I used to work in fashion, so I've always been like fashioned off.
Yeah. That's very important to us as well, because we thought that we had to figure out a niche that hasn't been covered by another team yet, and there isn't a goth team. So
we're black on the outside because black is how I feel.
Yeah, because in an interview with Scorpios, they said that in order to kind of get even just a chance of getting into battle bots, you've got to have like the trifecta of like an original and cool robot,
a giant
you gotta have
sexy
like
chin.
That helps, I think. A good story, but you've got to have something about you that hasn't been done yet, like a kind of theme. And
you
Dragon
got to be a
that.
character, just like your robot's a character. You have to be a character. You have to, be the whole package.
Yeah, like if you look at any team that's been particularly successful, not just in terms of like in their battles, but as a brand almost. Duck is a really good example of that. Like, Duck and Hal have this niche that they've carved out in the sport, that just isn't done by anybody else. Like,
I just always think, like, how would our robot be as like a hex bug robot?
Yeah, that's
like,
huge.
Would a kid want to, be us for Halloween? Would a kid want to be us when they grow up?
Yeah, and
then just like go from there, really.
You know what would get us in? If like someone, not us, because it would be very illegal, if someone was to like put up like a pre-order for Boltergeist Hex Bugs, and then like get loads in, and like they sold out, and then
I thought you were gonna say like, murder for a second.
No, then BattleBots are like, oh wow, we need to get on this and actually do it, because so many people want this, this Hex Bug of Boltergeist. But yeah, that's a huge thing for us. Is we've got to have a theme that works. We've got to make.
Sadly, our life is the theme. Like, we are just how we are.
Yeah, we were concerned about this. Is when
we didn't want to be too sad. Like, we didn't want to be a sad sack team because like of all the the stuff that happened. Because that's just life. Like, it happens. So we didn't want to we didn't want to get in on the basis of like, oh, let's be like the sad team. Let's feel sorry for them, because like no, like. We want to kick ass, we're here to kick butt. We're here to overcome things, here to inspire people.
Yeah. Although I did say to my therapist in our last session that I've been ironically referring to combat robotics as 3 terrible coping mechanisms in a trench coat, and I realized it really is 3 terrible coping mechanisms in a trench coat, but it's doing a very good job at them. And that, I mean, we do have that's obviously the backstory.
Compulsive spending, destruction of property,
and supportive community of friends.
That's a nice one.
That's not a terrible coping mechanism. That's a brilliant coping mechanism. I love all of you. You're amazing.
We do love everybody.
But I was trying to put it adequately into words that
I know some words
that we have. We have this story as a team that we've lost so many people, and that's not even the end of it. There's so many other things that are around us at the time that were going on that were just awful that we're not even going to mention because it's just like it's way too dark for the backstory of a team. But we don't want that to be our only merit. We want to be fun as well. We want to be a team people are going to enjoy. So we want, I mean, like Oscar wouldn't have wanted that as well. He wouldn't have wanted us to be like sad and boring.
No, man, like
Grandpa wouldn't have wanted that.
I mean, it's a sad old man, but no, like, I wanted, Oscar was our best friend, and I want to do whatever I can to honor his memory.
Yeah, I mean, Grandpa was sad towards the end because, Nana.
And he always had, he had a great sense of humor.
But this made him so happy, though.
And it made him happy as well. And it's about, continuing the legacy for Rex, who taught you so much as a kid. And it's just, we want to honor people as well in it. And just say thanks to everybody who's been a part of it.
But it's really ironic that the goth team is so much death.
I mean, goth team with a ghost robot, a spooky ghost robot.
Yeah.
Whatever, it works. It's a fucking marketing guy's wet dream. People pay big money for this kind of
marketing. I was watching that Scorpio's interview, thinking, you know what? If we don't get in on this, we're doing something really horribly wrong. Because I think we've got that this season. I think the difference between this season and last season
is your cat is less shit.
Yeah, it's pretty much that, because I learned CAD specifically for our BattleBots application, because the last robot I built was in 2003. We were literally building robots out of wheelchairs and refrigerators. And whatever I could steal from a local scrapyard.
He taught himself everything, and I'm very proud of him.
So I was like, I tried to get a friend to do the CAD for us, but he wanted a lot of money for it,
and wanted to take credit for our design.
Wanted to take credit for design, and so I'm not having any of this. Maybe and he's taking a while. So what if I were to just like learn it myself? I mean, how hard can it be? It's Microsoft Paint in 3D. Like, how hard could this be?
Very hard.
The answer is very hard. I had a lot of help though with a certain global event, prevented me from having any semblance of a social life for 2 years. That really helped. But last year my CAD skills, in terms of making it look good and in renders, getting the angles right, getting the colors right. I mean, it would have looked great in person when all was said and done. It was built, and we could get Natasha to take some cool photos of it. But as far as the renders went, it just didn't look as good as it could have looked. And this year, I feel that we finally got the design to a point where you can give Daddy kisses if you want to. You can give Daddy a kiss.
Oh. No, that's gross.
I finally got to a point where it's communicating what we wanted to communicate. It's hitting the fans right where they wanted it to, and people are responding to it how we would have wanted them to. But the reception has been just incredible, like more than I could have ever asked for. Like, I wasn't expecting to have people wanting to interview us for podcasts and everything, as a rookie competitor who hasn't even accepted yet.
Well, not just that. I think, like, to us, we're just like boring. Like everybody always says like, oh, you should write a book about your life. Oh, you should do this and that. And, your life is so interesting and exciting. And I'm just like, no, my life, I'm boring.
I guess because
I'm so boring.
Boltergeist to us was just this project.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then I forget that like, no,
Yeah.
other people
they've really
find
responded to it. And
I think that's the thing is like every step of the way, every time, let's say you've got stressed out about the design or something is, manufacturing has gone wrong or something.
I'm screaming at 3:00 in the morning. And
yes, I have to get the tranquilizer darts out and like
what she does
down.
is she makes me go and read all the messages from fans. Like
yeah,
if I
just
get
like
flustered, or if I start to like, if I'm having a bad day, like with my back or my arm or my shoulders or anything, if I have a difficult day, I just go and read messages from fans, and that's what keeps me going. And like, I don't know if I've made it these past few years if I didn't have that. And like, it's just crazy. Just like,
I think it's tough when you're in pain and you're having a bad day, and it's like, you do question whether you can continue on. And
but knowing what this means to people this year has really, it's been everything.
Seeing the support from everybody and the kind words, and seeing people like, making little fan art or like, sending you messages of encouragement. And it's
the fan art is amazing.
And I love it. I think it's incredible. It's just so nice to see that, people care about it. I don't think anybody's going to care about it as much as you do, because like obsessive much, but it is lovely, and it makes me really happy. And I always just want you to remember that people love you and love what you do.
I try my best.
And I just take a nap in the corner.
Yeah, she's great. She does so much of the metal work for me as well.
That's true. If his hand or his arm's not working too much, I've now become the power tool lady. And oh boy, do I love power tools. Oh, so much fun.
Yeah.
Nothing beats like a good like angle grinder or like jigsaw. Oh, it just makes me so happy.
Yeah. She made I needed a desk for the bedroom, and she was just so happy just like get the jigsaw out and just get some like scrap wood from like the house that's being demolished down the road and just make a desk. Like
that's the one thing that I've loved about making this robot, is just buying all the tools.
Yeah.
And having all the tools and subsequently just building lots of stuff. And I realize I've turned into my grandpa, but I love it.
Yeah. It's been a crazy, crazy journey. Like,
I think it's probably for everybody though. I mean, you have to be like moderately fucking insane to decide to make like a murderous robot for TV.
But like, if someone was to come to me 3 years ago and say that, okay, you're in 2022, like you're going to do something that people are really going to like, and your house is like Dr. Robotnik's secret lair. You'll have every single tool you'll ever need, and like your life is just going to be insane, and you're going to be a CAD engineer for a living. Like I just wouldn't have believed them.
Yeah, it's like a total 180 in terms of like
not
just career, hobbies, career, everything, but like
that's another thing as well, is that my disability, because I'm a musician, it's really, really difficult to be a professional musician when half of your body is like it stops working occasionally. But being a CAD engineer when half of your body doesn't work, that's a lot easier. And I had no idea that was even a skill that I was even capable of. But all of this is just this weird kind of like butterfly and hurricane effect, like spiral out of that one moment where you came home and I told you about the guy who taught me to build robots as a kid. And it's all turned into this.
He also built like the Tubby custard machine in Teletubbies.
Yeah,
like he was known for building like Teletubbies sets and stuff as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, he was amazing. He was absolutely amazing, and that's one of the things I kind of want to do as well.
But it's amazing though how such a
fleeting moment,
can completely change your life for the better, and it's it's cool.
Yeah, it's nice not being useless anymore as well.
I'm very proud of you. You're not useless. You can do some things.
don't let the Department of Work and Pensions hear
Oh,
that.
Don't let the government. Sorry,
Well,
we've rambled on for a long time.
oh
Yeah.
no, you're fine. You're fine. No, but yeah, I'm just I'm really excited for both of you and the
Thank you.
possibilities that that can come forth this year. I hope, fingers crossed.
Yeah, we got
Uh,
everything crossed.
yeah,
Like something crossed that I didn't even think could be crossed, and I had an MRI last week, and my
We're gonna
doctor's
have to
very
take you to the
concerned.
hospital to uncross them.
That's my plan.
We're very excited. We're very hopeful.
Yeah.
And no matter whatever happens, I mean, I don't want to put negative juju out there, but whatever happens, we will continue.
Yeah.
We will
Oh,
build
there's
the
one
robot.
thing we should probably mention. Is that everyone's gonna think we're insane after this. But
I mean, don't they
we
already?
used to live a couple of doors down from a psychic medium, and see, I'm an engineer, I'm a man of science, but this
lady's freaking on
like,
the ball. It's terrifying.
Like I saw a meme the other day that said, like, okay, if psychic mediums are called mediums, what is a large? And Angie is a large. Like the day I met her, I was moving my stuff into the apartment building, and she came to me in the car park as my dead grandmother, and she's not like a a little doddery like English woman. She was she was Egyptian.
Oh, your grandmother.
Yeah, my grandmother had a very thick Egyptian accent, and she had very distinctive pet names for me. And because I'm vegetarian, every single day she'd tell me, "Oh, darling, won't you please eat some chicken for me? Just please eat some chicken." And Angie came to me in the car park, and she said, "Oh, darling, can you please eat some chicken?" I was like, "Oh God, like it was who is this woman?"
I'd never met this woman before, and she just started talking in this weird accent.
And then she came to our Christmas party, and as a friend of ours, and she knew that he'd been molested as a kid.
Oh, this is getting a little grim for a
The thing is she said last season, she said, "You guys are not going to BattleBots this year, but you're going to be glad that you're not going, and you're going to be glad that you're not going to be finishing the robot and sending it off this year. Like, just trust me."
Then we heard about everything that happened.
Yeah, I fought against that so much. I was like, you know what, like, screw this. I'm gonna finish robot, and we're gonna go to BattleBots. This is gonna be amazing. But we got rejected, and then
we found out
all the British teams didn't end up being able to go, and people had like their robots stuck in Las Vegas, and they couldn't be there, and we were so relieved.
That would have been a nightmare.
She called the other day,
yeah,
and all she said is, "We fight another robot whose team captain's name is similar to mine." And I didn't bring them up when you asked who we want to face for this reason, because I think there's only one team captain who suits this criteria. And so Bunny from Malice's first name is Adrian. And she and I have probably been called each other's names our entire lives. And we asked BattleBots for a mean horizontal spinner. So there you go. And how good is the trash talk going to be between those two? Like, that's going to be an amazing match. And apparently, and you realize like every other word's just gonna be like beep 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 beep. Probably, yeah. They're gonna have to like Jerry Springer my mouth where they pixelate it, because like even the deaf will be offended. There was a moment when like she and Bunny were like commenting on something on Facebook together, and I was thinking, oh God, if like these two get on TV together, it'd be amazing. Because she doesn't really do social media, but they were like getting on like a house on fire. It was great. Yeah. So, God, that match would be amazing, because every single time Malice has faced a Hammerbot, that wasn't Mad Catter. Mad Catter doesn't count. Mad Catter didn't use its weapon in that fight because it didn't get to do it. But every hammer that has fired into Malice has lost its weapon, and we think we figured out a way to stop that happening. Dun, dun, dun. So apparently this match happens according to a psychic medium, a psychic large. Who is a blonde Welsh lady who used to tattoo eyebrows on people, but damn, is she cool. She's amazing. I'm a man of science, but this woman freaks me Ow.
And I would love to see that match, because I literally was just talking to Bunny about the match that they had against Blacksmith, and like
That was
took
amazing.
so like I mean I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
Like, make it happen.
I 100% want this match to happen.
The forces it be will make it happen.
Yeah, but isn't this the most on-brand thing for the Goth team?
Because of fucking psychic
like
medium.
for a psychic medium to be the matchmaker.
Sorry, we won't take up any more of your time. He's...
You know, as you go into the fights in the tunnel, but it's before the fight somewhere. There's a phone where you can call Pete and like tell him like some things.
Tell him something.
As we're going into the match, the phone will ring on our end, and it'll be Angie saying, "You're gonna lose."
Oh no.
Well, I can't wait. I can't like I'm excited. You know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll cross every finger and toe for you. But yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it wrapped up. But I appreciate you both so much for coming on the show. Like I was so thrilled about this, because I love to, you know, help promote a team that I feel so strongly about. So
you're the best.
Sending all the good vibes your way.
Thank you.
And you're great. Like, it's been really great chatting with you as well, just about Pokemon stuff. But yeah, you're amazing, and we'll have to send some stuff your way, because mention some stickers.
Well, we're working on some merch and stickers and stuff, so we will have some stuff
like,
to you.
Like for you and your daughter as well.
Yes, thank you so much. But yeah, we can certainly continue the Pokemon conversation, not on the BattleBots podcast, because I can talk about that forever. So,
I'll send you a shiny Mimikyu. I'll send you a shiny Mimikyu.
Calm down there, mister.
Yeah, you can have one. I give out Pokemon at our gigs and events. Like, if anyone asks, like, you do these Pokemon giveaways, like kind of a Pokemon, and I just give them one of my many Pokemon I've got from over the years. And
he does do that.
Yeah, special friends get shiny Mimikyu.
Such a nerd.
But you love it.
Oh, if you didn't play guitar, I don't know if I would have married you.
You see why I started playing guitar now?
There we go.
It worked.
Yep.
Well, I will go ahead and close out the show here. And again, thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, it's great to talk robots with someone who actually wants to talk robots.
For sure. All righty.